Hello, friends, family, and interested parties. I am coming to you live from my bed at home, which is way better than coming to you from a hospital bed where I've been the last couple of days. For those who don't know, I had a stroke around 4:30 on Saturday afternoon, July 8th, and I have been in the was in the hospital until last night, July 10th, getting, tests, diagnosis, all that kind of stuff. And I am very, very thankful to be alive and be able to walk and talk because the doctor said, based on the size of the stroke, it's pretty miraculous that I still have most, if not all, of my function. It also showed that I had had some minor strokes previously. So, what I'm going to tell you is don't ignore those things like blurry vision. If you think you might black out, don't say, oh, it's just stress, exhaustion. Don't ignore that stuff because that might have been those times and I just ignored it because I thought I was just overtired. Um, what happened was I went to put PJ into her car seat after picking her up from my meetup with my dad, who'd been babysitting her for the day. And I tried to tell her she was a silly goose, and it came out like, you are a silly goose. Like I knew I wasn't speaking right. It didn't come out right. And I stood back up and thought, well, surely I don't have heat stroke. It's a nice day, but that felt like kind of a stroke symptom. So then I got back in my car and I called Raymond and I said, I just had a weird thing happen. Can you follow me on my Google map? And so I sent him the link so he could follow us to make sure we got home safely. And while I was driving, I started to notice heaviness in my arms and legs that was completely not normal. By the time I got home, I knew something was really off. And when I came into the house, just throughout the rest of the afternoon, evening, my fine motor skills just weren't quite right. I was dropping things with my left hand, like my left hand couldn't quite sense that they were there the way that it was supposed to. And the main thing that was a huge indicator to me was when I went to rock PJ to bed, because Kathy had come over to help with dinner since I wasn't feeling right, and she'd gone to put her to bed, but PJ wanted me to sing to her, so I went in to rock her and I tried to sing to her, and my singing was off key. And those of you who know me know I have a music degree in vocal performance and I sing in church and choirs and all that kind of stuff. So for me to sing her bedtime songs that I sing all the time off key was super not right. And I started to get really freaked out. And I called Raymond, couldn't 100% tell if it was off. So I called my mom and said, listen to me sing. And I tried to sing to her and she was like, yeah, you're off key. I said, Mom, when do I sing off key? She's like, you don't. And I was like, yeah, something's really wrong. So, I also called my friend Kat, who's an ER nurse, and she said, based on symptoms, definitely go somewhere. The only thing I wish I had listened to better was that she recommended going to a bigger hospital, which is what you should do. Go to the St. Louis side of the river, like Barnes or SLU, because they have level 1 trauma for stroke. And if they had been able to have someone on staff to do an MRI right away, they might have been able to do the like clot breakup shot medication or a thrombectomy, which is where they actually like put a stent up there and try to break it up. But you can't do that after so many hours because it's too sticky at that point and could actually like get pushed up into a wrong spot and cause like a brain hemorrhage, which obviously is really bad. So in any case, listen to your body and call EMS because they can stabilize, and go to a big hospital. So anyway, Raymond drove me to Anderson Hospital, and when I told the doctor the symptoms, the main thing he was concerned about was the singing too. He said, especially since you're good at it, you have a degree in it, he said, anyone who has a skill that they can no longer do, he's like, that's a big sign of stroke. So he put me in for a CAT scan, which they did, and he said there was nothing big and scary on it, but there was something they saw. So then they scheduled me for an MRI the following morning. And when they did the MRI, which I got to tell you, a lot of people don't like the MRI because it's like claustrophobic. You're going into a tube, but I found it exceptionally relaxing. It was almost like sensory deprivation to have that, like just nothing there that I could look at. And then the noises Raymond had warned me about because he had an MRI for his foot at one point, and it's like this like loud clacking metallic sound, but to me it just sounded like mechanical white noise, and I actually thought it was very calming. Which some people find odd, but I really did. And the MRI showed a big old stroke, like a blood clot stroke right in my right frontal lobe, which is why my left side is having trouble. Also, when I was getting ready to go to the hospital, I couldn't put my hair in a bun the way I usually do. Like my left and right hand wouldn't talk to each other right. And I couldn't get my bra fastened. Something women, we do multiple times, take it on and off a day. So there's no reason that shouldn't be working. So again, those are the kind of fine motor skill things to watch for. So I knew something was really off. But anyway, the people at Anderson were fantastic and amazing, all the nurses and doctors, and even the 80-year-old neurologist who's retired but comes back to help because they're short-staffed. He was great too. They took amazing care of me, and I'm actually going to get transferred. I'm going to have a neurologist moving forward from Barnes. But long story short, we don't know where the clot came from because they did an MRI of my arteries, and my two major arteries on either side coming from my heart to my brain are both totally clear. There's like no buildup plaque or anything that's visible. And then they did, so because they couldn't see anything there, even though my cholesterol is a tiny bit high, so I'm going to go on a med for that. But every time I've had it checked before, they said it's not high enough to give you medication. So that's why I wasn't on anything. And anyway, so then they're like, okay, well, because I said, well, I'm on birth control, and anyone who takes birth control knows that there's a higher risk of blood clot if you are on birth control. But they're like, even if that was the cause, it comes from an extremity. That's where they develop, is like in your arms or legs, and it has to go through your heart. In order for it to do that, it has to pass from right to left or whatever, and it can only do that if there's an abnormality, like a hole or a flap or something. And so then they were going to put me in for an echocardiogram. So they did that, and apparently there wasn't anything on that either, so we still don't know where the clot came from. But the neurologist also said it's possible that it just built up right in that spot. But it's still strange. So then if the MRI comes back normal, then they're like, okay, this is probably way too much information, but just so you guys have info, should this ever happen to you or someone you care about, then they said, okay, well, now we're going to look at if it's a clotting disorder or lupus or something like that. So they got a ton of blood, like 15 vials, and they're going to send that off to hematology, and I'll get results of that in a couple of weeks to see if that's sort of the cause. But long story short, we don't know where the clot came from, but the stroke was pretty big, and I'd had little ones before, and so I'm super thankful that I'm not having terrible, terrible symptoms that OT and PT, occupational and physical therapy, both thought I was doing great and released me for normal activity. So, of course, I've been working, which is stupid, but also I run a business, so what else are you going to do? And also, I practiced driving today with Raymond, not with PJ in the car, just with Raymond. He was willing to put his life at risk, which was really nice of him. And I did great. It was totally fine, but it's the little things like typing. I don't always hit the right key, and still can't quite do my bun right. Still can't get my dang bra. Whoever invented those hooks was an idiot. Should be just Velcro or something, right? So little things like that. And I have to, if I'm holding something with my left hand, I have to remind myself I am, because the sensation's not there, and I'll forget that I'm holding it, and I will just drop it. Walking around, I'll just drop whatever I'm holding because the sensation's not there to remind me there's something in my hand. So it's definitely very weird. But overall, I'm functioning. I'm taking care of PJ. Had to make minor modifications to how I change her diaper and stuff, but so far so good. She's really happy to have me home. She was very discombobulated, watched way too much Cocomelon, was super overstimulated and turning into a brat. What else can I tell you? Oh, so I don't feel as bad as I look, but I'm just not wearing makeup. I haven't tried to put on makeup. I thought we'd do a little experiment here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So this is my lip liner. So let me I don't know if I can do it on this because it's not a mirror, but this is my right hand. Obviously it's still doing fine, but let me do some lip gloss with this left hand and see if I can do it. So see, I'm practicing opening things with my left hand. I've been brushing my hair and brushing my teeth with my left hand, but I had to really focus to do that because it's my brain is really having to work harder to tell my hand where to put it. But success. Now I have on my lips are a little bit on. We'll try full makeup maybe tomorrow. So anyway, everyone's been so supportive. Thank you to my book club ladies and everyone else who has sent a meal gift card or signed up to bring a meal. That's going to help a lot. Thank you so much to the grandparents. They've been helping us take care of PJ, doing some laundry and dishes for me, put clean sheets on my bed. Thank you, Mom, Mom-in-law, Papa, Grammy Jan. Love you guys. Thank you to Raymond. He's been awesome, so supportive and just loving and talking me through when I'm struggling emotionally with it. And thank you to Jamie and Rachel for the beautiful flowers, and just everyone who has sent a message, a text, or anything, just that you care or thinking of me. I can really feel the love and the prayers, and I don't think you realize like how blessed you are until something like this happens, and I have such a great support system. Sorry. You guys are amazing. I'm thankful for all of you. I feel really blessed because it could have been way worse, and I know I'm super young. That's what they kept saying. We all expected it to be like a minor stroke or TIA, because when I looked it up, that's what I thought too. But it was like a for real one. Because I'm really young. These usually don't happen to people under 55, but they can. One of my doctors had a cousin, age 31, who had a stroke, but she regained all of her function. So I'm hopeful that I will too. But just so you can hear the singing thing, you guys know I can sing. I'm going to sing a little bit of Happy Birthday so you can hear how off it is. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear everyone. Happy birthday to you. I don't think that was too terrible, but I could tell it wasn't quite right. So, anyway, just some little things for you guys to kind of see what it's like. Anyway, I am here, and I think everything's going to be good. I just got to do my little hand things, get my left side to work right again, and yeah, we'll keep going one day at a time. Love and hugs to y'all. Bye.